You're live.
Okay, let's start. The purpose of this presentation is to show IV&V activities applied to New York City, ECTP2, Radio Council, and Emergency Control Station projects. What makes this project challenging? First of all, a unique size of the system. More than 1,000 operators and dispatchers serving more than 11 million emergency calls per year. It requires high equipment productivity and availability. ECTP stays for transformation, meaning that transition towards the newest technologies with the coexistence of legacy technologies. Also, it means integration of radio console and emergency control station projects with other projects like computer aided dispatch system, logging and recording system, E911, and others. IV&V ECTP team started with studying initial project documents in order to get familiar with the project scope. Then we created a technical reference. After that, we provided a comprehensive analysis of detailed design documents, working requirements, and other artifacts, comparing them with the technical reference and paying specific attention to system availability and particularly to system redundancy and failovers. ECTP technologies link 911 callers to first responders. Multi-PSAP parallel architecture provides robust operation because of ability to each PSAP to handle a full load alone. Radio dispatch is the last point in a call flow, but its role is the most important as the effectual response to the emergency call.
Roman, can you mute your speakers on your computer, please?
Successful dispatch operation depends on dispatcher's ability to handle an emergency situation, but it also depends on radio console and emergency control station quality and availability. That's why during project analysis, ID and the ECTP team paid specific attention to system reliability, equipment redundancy, and failovers. This slide shows a typical PSAP radio project. Each PSAP contains radio console linked to radio network. It also contains ECS project linked to dispatch console and to emergency desk set. Typical radio console architecture includes radio dispatch sites, warren network, and zone control sites. Radio dispatch sites responsible for different geographic zones, and zone control provides call handling, call signaling handling, and some other features. Typical radio console site has multiple points of redundancy. Specifically, spare positions, backup for active ones, backup disk set is backup for radio console. Also, there are redundant routers to core network. There are two redundant IP network dedicated for radio console and for disk sets. Redundant gateways provide link to radio sources. Typical redundant microwave links are used as transport to connect PSAP to radio network. These T1 links usually are used as backup for microwave links. IV&V failover evaluation addresses inter-PSAP failure, checking that each PSAP is capable to support full load in harsh conditions. Microwave links failover, checking switching to a backup microwave link when the main one failed. Backup T1 failover, checking switching to at least T1 links when microwave system failed. Radio network to ECS failover, checking switching to ECS when the entire radio network is unavailable. Zone controllers failover, verifying standby controller activation procedure. Zone controller to site controller failover, verifying a local site controller activation procedure. Then radio console to disk set failover, checking switching to disk set if radio console failed. Summarizing this presentation, IV&V, with its independent analysis, makes valuable contribution to creating a robust radio console and ECS systems, bringing additional level of assurance. Any questions?
Are there any questions? Are there any questions online?
If you'd like to ask a question on the phones, press *1. One moment. No questions have formed.
Okay, we don't have any questions in the room either. So, Roman, if you, I haven't received any questions online. So if you're done, we will go ahead and break for lunch. We'll return at 1 o'clock in the afternoon to take back up. Okay, we do have questions in the room.
I didn't hear anything. Sorry.
What was one of the biggest challenges that you have found while working on this project?
The biggest challenge is size of the system. It's a huge system. It's unique size and it requires special approaches to analysis.
Did you hear that, Roman? Is it dealing with multiple projects across multiple consoles?
I didn't get a question. Could you repeat it, please?
Coordination between the departments that was more of the challenge.
The coordination of the hardware or the coordination of the departments? Which was more of a challenge?
Work together, or was it harder to get the equipment to work together?
There are several. The whole project is divided to different sub-projects, and we analyze each of them separately, and then we check integration between them.
Okay, so you took an approach that you worked with each one individually, and then you integrated them together, and because it was so large scale, that's what led you to your success?
That's correct.
Okay, great, gotcha. Thank you.
So one of the things that contributed, I think, to success along that line is they did have separate working groups for police department, radio dispatch, and fire department. So because we were looking across those, we recognized that they had similar architectures. This was actually one of the areas that we pursued that initially was not thought to be of great value, because from the customer's perspective, they believed that the police department, fire department were distinct enough that there wouldn't be a lot of similarity or shouldn't be a lot of similarity in requirements and so forth. But the architecture was fundamentally almost the same. So the idea that they would be radically different in other areas, that was something that we thought deserved a lot of attention. So we did a lot of comparative analysis of the requirements and the design, and actually have been able to identify several significant missing requirements, and also areas where perhaps requirements were unnecessary. So removing unnecessary requirements, of course, streamline testing and design and implementation. So a lot of benefit from our being able to look across and participate not only with the different people, but looking across different platforms.
I think that's something that's come up in these conferences before, and that you did it early on in the project. It was very good. With that gap analysis early on, saves you a lot of headaches, so there's a lot of value in there. Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
Once again, if you'd like to ask a question on the phones, it's *1.
All right, if there are no other questions, we'll break for lunch until 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you very much.
Marcia?
That applause was all for you.
Hmm.
Yay,
Yeah.
you're all done. However, this actually seems like a pretty nice setup to give a talk.
Like this interface, but practice.
How many people? There were also 80 people on it. It was 80.
good.
And if
Actually,
you're able to hear me, could you please dial into the telecon with the leader code?
This is a funny format. This is the first time they've done it completely remote. I think when they have people in the room, it's easier to communicate. You know, the other thing is when I sit on my phone headset, I'm just working, not paying as much attention. But I think when you're in a room,
You're welcome. I'll go ahead and try to fix that pre-conference, and I'll be in the other conference for deadline. Session. User line join. I'll transition that pre-conference. So we either have to. You're welcome.
Yeah, it freaked me out when I couldn't get in. I kind of got stressed about it. I did, because I'm like, she's wanting me to go down on the page, and then you went down and I went down on the same page. I went 2 pages down.
Connect my audio. Okay. Now, I'm probably going to have to do speakerphone on the phone. Although, if I'm not on video, I guess it might not matter. How is the levels? Okay. I know that the audio levels on the web speakers is extremely low, and I can't move my setting up anymore. And if I'm listening to headphones, I don't have additional amplification that I can kick in. Right, but the levels that I'm getting from the rest of the presentation, if I try to listen to it on the headphones from the computer, inaudible essentially, except for the speaker at Fairmont, which comes through just fine. Okay, so it looks like I'm good. I think underneath the slides, okay, down arrow. Looks like
You see it
plus,
over by the
okay,
one,
there we go. Plus minus.
to the left of plus minus. There's an up and a down arrow all the way on the left of the bottom of
Okay,
the
I
slide
see
window.
it.
Okay,
There we go.
there you go. So you'll use that to advance your slides as you're speaking, and then the presenter chat in there, in that window, if you have any questions before your presentation, you can send them to me right in there. And the screen will change as soon as you're made presenter. I'll make you a presenter right at the beginning of the break, maybe shortly before the break, so you can see that you're up and ready to go.
That sounds good to me.
All right.
And I will try to locate an acceptable picture and get it to you.
Okay, if you could email that to me today, that'd be awesome.
Okie doke.
All right, thanks, Jim, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. Bye-bye.